perhaps the word assistant is wrong. An assistant is in front of the camera just as well as in back of the camera. And I believe an assistant should have the will and the necessary quality to help a director, and should be at all times willing to give only a little piece of themselves instead of 100%, which is fatal. They should give 1%, which is fine, and when you build it all up, there may be 100% there.
Getting the right 1% from every member of a film unit is inevitably a difficult and lengthy business. Sternberg is a true example of the unrelenting perfectionist who struggles and agonizes to recreate on celluloid a personal vision. This demonstration is a simple affair, but it is mounted with the same care and the same impatience as if it were a real production.
Raise it up. Get in front there. Get in front there and raise it up to size it'll go. Higher, higher. Oh. Move that clock on the mantelpiece to the left, will you? More. Hold it. Take this light and turn it easily away from... Easy, easy. Oh! Would you raise it up? And see if you can cut across the forehead.
Across the forehead?
That light is not on her head. That light is on her shoulders, and put it up on her head. Now put it on her. Huh?
He deals with detailed questions about his work by referring the enquirer back to the films themselves, or by displaying a sardonic sense of humor.
I think Matisse was having dinner one day, and next he was eating some fish and having difficulty with the bones, and some lady next to him, some old lady, asked him politely, very politely, what he thought about art. And Matisse looked at her and said, "Madam, haven't you any small questions?"
In his memoirs, Sternberg has said that the ideal film, if ever made, will be entirely synthetic, and his films are a recreation rather than a replica of life. For him, the film studio is the place where he can conjure up with light and texture and movement his own private world.
Just to relax and move. But stay there to begin with. I don't value authenticity. I don't try to do anything that's real. I tried, as a matter of fact, the reality, if it were broken down, would be you would perceive that it was made up of particles of illusion. That there's no reality. Every man sees what he sees in his own way, and has his own opinions about it, and the authenticity as such has no existence. Even a documentary which is made supposedly to represent real things has a viewpoint.
Would you ever be interested in making a documentary?
Well, I've made a documentary for the War Department in America, and it's in existence. It's a thing called The Town. It isn't very good, but it was a documentary where I was supposed to show that a little town in the States was composed of the elements of all nations, and a combination of things that was produced by foreigners.
Did you go about making the town in the same way as you make your features?
No, I couldn't do that because I was instructed exactly how to make the town. This was made for purposes other than I normally have, and I was very anxious to contribute to the war effort, and I made something which apparently was well liked at the time, but it had no significance to me. I think the use of language is perhaps the worst possible way to convey something to another human being. You convey it by gestures, by building up the human being and the environment without any communication with the human being, and you use the human being as an object, as a spot of color, and it seems to correspond to my view of human beings, and you create an illusion.
His last film, The Saga of Anatahan, was made in 1953 in a converted factory with Japanese artists and technicians.
For instance, I work with many other people, with Koreans, with Japanese, with Chinese. They don't understand my language, and somehow they do exactly as I want them to. So if you ask me how I accomplish it, I must. I don't think it's hypnotism. I don't think it's any magic. I think it's merely an arrangement of color and an arrangement of form which seems to carry out my ideas. But the ability to coach and produce things in a human being which are great for that human being is a rare thing.
Sternberg's preoccupation with light and texture and form make him one of the most painterly, most abstract artists of the cinema. It's possible, though, to find recurring motives in his work. For instance, a romantic absorption in the erotic and the bizarre, and the abiding central theme of the woman as both predator and victim. Certainly, no other director has used the technical resources of the film studio with such extreme fastidiousness and sophistication.
This damn thing isn't right. I wish you'd stop. I mean, you've taken enough.
I thought after I...
Way back. No, back this way. Now, just a minute. Listen to me. From right to left. That's it. Now move it back. Move it back. Move it to the way over. Now go back again. Go back again. This is not the right unit here. You need one that hasn't got such straight lines, and one that is made of cellulose. It's made of celluloidness. There's a regulation, broken lines. All right, take it, and move slowly from right to left, and your face should be reasonably pleasant. Let's shoot it. The hot light should be on the chin. She should not wear a black dress, because I take a spray gun and I would spray that with aluminum. That is not photographic. She should wear a light dress. But in general, there's your scene. Now let's go home, huh?